Okay, welcome back. This is the Series of Opinions podcast, episode number 21, Best Sidekicks. We are three women discussing the best and worst of media and our opinions about them. I'm Faith.
I'm KJ.
And I'm Moira.
For this week, does anybody have any recommendations that they want to start us off with?
I do, and I want to go first because I'm worried Moira's going to steal mine. So I have two. My first one is WandaVision on Disney Plus. It's the new Marvel show.
Ooh.
It's really, really good. And it's brought back all these old characters that we haven't seen in like a long time. Like we haven't seen Darcy since like Thor 2, which was like I think 2014, but I could be totally wrong. But it's been like literally so long, so it's so great and it's like really well done. And like
about that.
Now, like I watched the first like 4 episodes all at once, but the last 2 I've been watching like as they come out, and like every like week I'm just waiting for Friday for the new episode. So good.
Phil really thinks that I would enjoy it because I've been recommended like this and advertised to about this so much in the last like month.
Honestly, once we get you hooked on Marvel,
I've gotten so many ads about it. So
once we get you there, it'll be for you. Honestly. And then the other one is this. I think it's like I don't know if it's like just on like it's. I've been watching it on my Snap stories, but I don't know if it's like a YouTube thing or if it's just on Snapchat or what it is. But it's called Ryan Doesn't Know with Ryan Reynolds. And it's so funny. It's just like it's Ryan Reynolds video chatting with people who like make things or do things, and like they teach him how to do what they do, and then he does it like less good than they do. And like it's things like nail art or ice sculptures or axe throwing or graffiti. Just like random stuff that, you know, people don't know how to do off the top of their head. And then, you know, it's just Ryan Reynolds being like self-deprecating and like, teach me how to do things because I don't know how to do anything. And it's so good. I really enjoy Ryan Reynolds as a human being.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very enjoyable. Yeah, that reminds me of, there was a show on, I think, YouTube. And it was by Tig Notaro, and she talks to people.
Oh my god, I love that show.
She talks to people, like famous people, that she has no idea who they are.
I love that.
Tries to like remember who they are and why they're famous. Yeah, it's really good. So
the one with Kaylee Cuoco is so funny.
It's not a rip off of that, because that would be unfortunate. Yeah, it's so hilarious.
No, I love that show. That's so good. Anyway, yeah, those were my recommendations this week.
Yeah, that wasn't my recommendation, but
it just reminded you of it. And it was
okay. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Well, mine, I kind of flopped this week because I was trying to remember like what I've been watching, what I've been doing that's new that I haven't talked about. And I haven't, really, because I've been watching Supernatural a whole lot.
Yes, I got her.
Last night was the first night, and she got me finally after I don't know how many years. It's finally happened. And it was because you finished Money Heist.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I gotta. I mean, she watched this whole 4 seasons in whatever, like a week of this show that I love. I can really start to dive into Supernatural, so I've been absolutely loving and binging that. And yeah, I'll just like steal what I said before about Under a Rock show is also good. So that's what I've got this week. Kind of lame, but that's what I've been really into
it's perfect. I've been living for Faith texting me being like, I'm in love with Supernatural. Asking me what my favorite season is.
It's so 2000s.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. But the more you like really fall in love with the boys, I just like, oh my god, it's amazing. And it's really funny.
It's really funny, right? I can't wait till we get into like the seasons where like they just get to do goofy, crazy shit. Like they're like, we don't care. We've been on the show. We've been on TV for 6 years. Like, who cares if we do something completely ridiculous?
Exactly. Just like do silly stuff. Moira, what do you have this week?
I have 2 recommendations. The first is obviously WandaVision. I watched all 6 episodes yesterday, and I am in love with it so much. And I 100% recommend that. I'm going to be watching all the other episodes as they come out, which I'm excited for. And I want to recommend as well the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. It's a book trilogy, and the final movie just came out yesterday. And I really like it. It's a very cheesy, like, teenage rom-com movie and book series, and it's very, very cute. And I really enjoyed it. And it's reignited my love, and now I want to reread the books after watching it yesterday.
That's one I have never started. So.
I remember you... Yeah, I remember you reading that, I think, in high school, like, specifically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy that series. Awesome. I read it twice before the first movie came out. Now I've read it another time.
Amazing.
Very excited.
Also, for the people that already watch WandaVision and don't need us to recommend it to them, please send us all your theories. Moira and I have just been sending each other theories back and forth like all night last night. Send us more. We want to know them.
Okay, so today we are talking about sidekicks, their purpose, what they bring to the team, and all of that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to start with KJ. Who are you going to start off with, KJ?
We're going to start by talking about Charles Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He is the sidekick of Jake Peralta. He is the ultimate hype man. He's always there for anyone on the Nine-Nine, but, like, in particular, Jake. He's more invested in Peralta than Jake or Amy, and they're super in love with each other, but Charles is way more involved in their relationship than they are from way earlier than they were. Like, they introduce themselves and he's like, y'all should get married. So Charles is from a very close-knit, like, affectionate family. Charles and his family as a whole are not meant to be heroes. They're give-uppers. But Charles is actually really brave and has proven time and time again that he's a hard worker and a diligent detective. The Boyle family is just an entity, honestly. I kind of forgot about all these, like, funny jokes about the Boyle family that existed till I started, like, looking up some things about Charles, and I was like, oh my god, the Boyles are just a whole thing. He's also, like, a good husband and father to his wife and his son Nicolaj, and he brings, like, to the team some foreign cuisine, just costumes, so many costumes, innuendos. Charles always accidentally says things in ways that sound dirty. And then just absolutely, like, living for eccentric dramatic moments. Like, there's a whole episode where Charles goes full Greatest Showman and, like, it just channels his inner P.T. Barnum, and there's costume changes and dance numbers and the whole bit. It's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's just there to hype everybody up, and, like, I think the main thing that could be improved on with Charles is, like, something the show actually has worked on and started to do in the more recent seasons, which is, like, allow Charles to be the one to save the day every once in a while, because he is really competent, and he's older than a lot of the main cast is supposed to be, so he has a lot of good experience as, like, a detective, and then also, like, now with Jake as, like, a husband and a father. Like, he's a good mentor, and sometimes he needs to also shine as the hero and not the sidekick. And the show's getting a lot better at doing that for him.
I love that.
Yeah. He's just amazing, and if you needed a personal cheerleader, like, you would call Charles Boyle. But yeah, that's it. I didn't go into too much detail.
So, next, I'm going to talk about Ron and Hermione, obviously sidekicks to Harry from Harry Potter. Again, just want to reiterate, we don't stand J.K. Rowling. Just, how can you talk about sidekicks without talking about this trio?
Yeah.
So, of course, there's a lot, like, you know, the books and the movies, and so much information and history about them, but just very, very brief. If you don't know, this trio, sometimes known as the Golden Trio, was the popular name given to these 3 best friends, Ron, Hermione, and Harry. They're Gryffindor students at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. They met for the first time on the Hogwarts Express when Hermione was looking for Neville's lost toad. At Hogwarts, they all get sorted into Gryffindor. They were allied as a trio with the Order of the Phoenix, Dumbledore's army, and Albus Dumbledore, and in their adult lives and careers, the British Ministry of Magic. And they just generally get into all kinds of dangerous situations while solving mysteries slash saving the school, which I didn't want to research in any more detail than that because I didn't want to give J.K. Rowling the satisfaction. And they're usually saved by Hermione.
Yeah, no, if it wasn't for Hermione, honestly. So as far as like what they actually bring to the team, Hermione, like we said, brings amazing intelligence and brilliance, without which Harry and Ron would absolutely be dead. Whereas Ron is a character that fills the role of a sidekick, I think, like wholeheartedly, and is the really kind of almost stereotypical sidekick, loyal, supportive, comedic relief friend to Harry. And then, like, as far as their purpose goes, which kind of ties into that, I think Ron as a character's purpose in the story is, like I said, absolutely a sidekick. He doesn't really totally have his own story that's entirely separate from Harry, and, like, generally speaking, his character is used for comedic relief, for support for the hero, or to create, like, a difficult situation in which the sidekick does something stupid and the hero or Hermione has to save him. And then as far as like Hermione goes, I would say that she helps Harry and Ron and does a lot of the emotional heavy lifting as well as the bulk of the actual work. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. But Hermione herself is not like, as a character, just along for the ride. When Harry isn't there, she's still busy. She still has her own story. She convinces Harry to be a figurehead in the fight against Voldemort, and she creates Dumbledore's army. She rereads all of Hogwarts a history, just to name a few things that she does. She shows up with all the tools and the knowledge and keeps Harry from standing around just looking baffled while the world ends around them.
Honestly, that's all Harry would do without her.
Honestly. Honestly. And then something I wish that would change just generally about the trio, I really wish that Hermione got more credit generally for all of the ass saving that she pulls off over the course of the whole series, and that Harry was maybe a touch more self-sufficient because, you know, like we said in our dumb boy hero episode, you know, all of that.
Throwback to episode 8. It's been a minute.
Right? I looked back to see what episode it was. I can't believe it's been that long, but yeah, of course, watch that or listen to that if you haven't. Yeah, so I don't love that she's often labeled as a sidekick because I think she's her own, like, mini heroine almost. And whereas Ron, he's a sidekick.
Yeah.
He's just, that's fully a sidekick character.
Yeah, the only other thing that Ron really brings to the story is just, like, information about the Wizarding World. Like, he's just, like, the only one that's lived in the Wizarding World his whole life. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, a different perspective, for sure. Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you mentioned that. But yeah, that's all I got for that.
Amazing.
Moira, do you want to go ahead?
For sure. I'm going to talk about Edwin Jarvis from Agent Carter, and I would like to point out that I was on the phone with KJ when I found out that his name was Edwin and not Edmund.
Yep.
Because that blew my mind, and how I did not know that.
Yeah, we both screwed that up somehow.
Confused. Yeah, he goes by Jarvis, so we didn't hear his first name a lot. I'm going to talk mostly about Agent Carter, which we get to see him on screen the most.
Yeah.
So in Agent Carter, he is the amazing sidekick to Peggy Carter and Howard Stark. And then in the movies, his voice then is used to become Jarvis, the artificial intelligence sidekick to Tony Stark. So Jarvis is Howard Stark's butler, who is, like, tasked with helping Agent Carter in the pursuit of clearing Stark's name in the TV show. So a little bit of background about him. He's British, and then he joined the British Armed Forces to become an aide to the general, and that's where he met his wife, Anna, and she was a Jewish woman who was working in Budapest. And when World War II broke out, they attempted to get safe transit for her to get away from the Third Reich. and the general wouldn't sign the transport form, so Jarvis stole a letter and forged his signature, and then Jarvis got accused of treason, and then Howard Stark was the one who bailed him out and helped him, and when Jarvis was dishonorably discharged from the army, he immigrated to the US and became Howard Stark's butler, which is where we got him to appear in the story.
I forgot all of those details. Like, literally all of them.
It's so cute. I love their, like, introductory story.
I remembered Anna. That was it.
Yeah. And then we get, like, the first episode of Agent Carter, where Howard gets in trouble with the government, and he asks Agent Carter to clear his name, and then he gets Jarvis to help her. Jarvis, like, then follows Agent Carter's around on her missions to help her uncover, like, new things and what's happening. He spends a lot of time, like, he helps Peggy, he drives the car, he provides access to all of Stark's resources, and then he's a very loyal, like, not only, like, partner, but, like, butler as well. He spends approximately 40 years, I've calculated, as Howard Stark's butler from the 1940s, where we see him in Agent Carter, and then he's there long enough to have a significant impact on Tony Stark's life, who was born in 1970. So he's been there for a while. He's around for quite a while, helping out the Stark family. One of my favorite scenes that's very cute, at the beginning of Peggy and Jarvis's relationship, is when Peggy calls him at his home, and he's very disgruntled with her because he's making dinner for his wife, and he really likes the structure, and it's like, that's not their time to work and try and clear the name. And Peggy has to explain to them that she needs him to find the instructions to dismantle a bomb that Stark created, because she's currently holding it, and it is armed. And I think that's very cute.
Like, yes, I'm sorry I've interrupted your dinner, but I'm holding a live bomb. Please give me the instructions on how to disarm it.
Exactly. And that pretty much sums up their relationship in one thing. Like, he's there to aid Peggy, and he becomes, like, comic relief, but he's absolutely great, and he gets very involved in, like, the joy of solving mysteries and all these things, and he wants to continue to do it even after they've cleared Stark's name, which is very sweet. And I definitely would change absolutely nothing about them, because they're very adorable, and from this, they both get actual arcs where they grow and change, but still work as a great team. So...
yeah, they're perfect.
Yeah. That's it.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, good job. KJ?
Okay, the next person I'm talking about is Wallace Vanello from Veronica Mars, and he is Veronica's sidekick. Wallace was ride or die for Veronica from day one. Like, I mean, she helped helping someone when they've been duct taped naked to a flagpole, and like getting the biker gang that duct taped them up there off your back. Like, it does entitle you to a couple of favors, but like, Veronica cashed them all in about 3 or 4 episodes, and then continued to ask Wallace for favors for the next 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah, just pulling people's school records. So, yeah, Wallace's signature favor was pulling people's school records, and then, like, some engineering-related stuff, and distraction was his other big thing. Wallace Vanello and Veronica just kind of decided that they were going to be friends, which was a big commitment for Wallace, because Veronica was not popular, didn't really have any other friends, was constantly using everybody she came in contact with for favors. She's not a great friend in return a lot of the time, but he's perfect. So it was a big commitment for him. But yeah, Wallace started off as an office aide in season 1, stealing people's school files. And then in season 4, he's stealing files for her as a physics teacher at their old school. He literally has one trick, and he's still doing it. They almost became siblings in the first 2 seasons. I miss Keelisha so much. And honestly, they practically were siblings for a while, and like, he's the only person other than her dad who was at her wedding. Like, none of the groom's family was there, and then for her it was just her dad and Wallace. Not even Wallace's wife or his kid, just Wallace. And so they're just like super ride or die for each other. Their duo could use some reciprocity. Like, wow, said that word so wrong, but
That's Okay.
Like I said, Wallace just starts out stealing files for her in season 1, and in season 4 it's been 15 or so years and he's still going. Veronica does come through once in a while with a favor, but like she could really stand to do it more often.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I want to say about Wallace? Notes, tell me something. But yeah, Wallace, he's just kind of like perfect. He's so funny and like he's just chill and laid back, and he just does favors for Veronica without asking too many questions. I mean, when he asks questions, he gets yelled at, but he's just perfect. Honestly,
so he learns. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, he's the best character in the show aside from maybe Keith. He deserves the world. That's all I have. I'm saving my long thing for the boyfriends because there's 3 of them.
Okay. No, that is totally good.
Had to save my word count.
So next I'm going to be talking about Reggie Mantle. Just a quick disclaimer. I am not caught up in Riverdale. I haven't watched the latest season at all because I've been too busy watching Supernatural. So if anything is different and if anything has happened...
We'll talk when we're done recording.
But this is his kind of deal pre this season, just so everybody knows where I'm at. So Reggie Mantle attends Riverdale High School and is captain of the varsity football team, the Riverdale Bulldogs. He worked at La Bonne Nuit as a bartender and is generally seen as the sidekick to Veronica Lodge, his ex, his employer, and his classmate. After Veronica declined Reggie's request of promoting him to the co-owner of La Bonne Nuit, Reggie ended his job and his relationship with Veronica. They get back together briefly, but break up when Archie returns to Riverdale. But generally, if anything that she asks him to do, he's totally down for it, even if it's a really dumb idea. So his purpose as far as plot goes is generally just like, I think he's used a lot of the time as like muscle for Veronica's crazy plans. He's super, super committed to her, loyal to her all the way. He worked at the speakeasy, hid alcohol for her, burned down a bunch of drugs, and helped break Archie out of juvie, just to name a few things that he's done
he
for
did
her.
That.
No questions asked. Right?
No, I forgot he was involved in that plan at all.
I know. Yeah, I think that they're really like-minded and have really natural chemistry, and Reggie's generally really boosts up Veronica and supports her, whatever she's trying to do, and I think he brings out a really interesting side of Veronica, and is just totally a really, I don't want to say positive influence, because obviously, like, I just listed a bunch of not positive things that they do together, but as far as her and her personality and her confidence, I think he's a really good influence for her.
Yeah, they made a good team.
As far as what I would change, they make a really good team together, I think. So as far as, like, what I would change about the two of them, sorry to Varchi shippers, but I really like them as a ship.
I'm hardcore into it. I'm into it.
Fair.
Yeah. I wish that there had been more of them together before just, like, throwing Archie and Veronica back together. And it's really sad because I feel like he feels more like a placeholder boyfriend for when Archie's away rather than, like, her ever, like, fully committing to him and them having, like, a decent stretch of being together. But I really, really like them together. I think they have way more in common than
I
her and
totally
Archie,
agree.
which is a common gripe that I have with a lot of ships I don't particularly love, is that they're, like, way too different. But yeah, that's the team of Reggie and Veronica that I absolutely love.
Amazing.
So thank you. Next, Moira is going to talk about who?
I'm going to talk about Shuri from Black Panther, and disclaimer, this character is one of my favorite characters of all time for many things, so I tried to keep it very short so I didn't talk forever.
Yeah, that's okay.
She
Go
is
on a rant.
sidekick to her brother T'Challa and, like, aka Black Panther. She is the Princess of Wakanda and his younger sister. She is the inventor responsible for most of Wakanda's modern technology, and she helps improve her brother's technology and suit so that she can help him on missions. She invents, like, all of the technology that her brother uses to save the world, and then she uses it to help keep her family and her country safe when he can't. And I 100% believe that she planned to save her country.
Oh, I 100%
what she wanted to do.
Agree, honestly. I hope that the MCU decides that, like, with Chadwick Boseman passing away, I hope that they make Shuri the new Black Panther.
I am really hoping. There's rumors about that, and
it's what we need.
I'm gonna be so sad. Yeah. She becomes her own superhero. She fights during Infinity War and Endgame, and she spends a lot of time attempting to separate the Vision from the Mind Stone so that he can be okay before some bad things happen. But she's really, really smart, and she's a teenager, and it's really great, and I love her. I would like to see more of her being her own character instead of a sidekick to help her brother. But that's about it. I really, really like her.
Amazing.
Yeah, I have gotta be on board with all of that whole franchise, because I just, like, you could have just spoken, like, Spanish to me just then. I would have no idea.
We will get you. Black Panther is, I think, one of the best. I don't know.
I want it to be Black Panther, the one you watch.
Yeah.
But I'm still debating.
It's definitely in the front runner for things you watch.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was such a big deal, like, social justice wise, like, having a superhero that was, like, Black and African, and so amazing. And then if they turn around and, like, make the little sister the replacement, I'm so here for that.
I'm so excited.
Okay, KJ, you wanna
okay
take the next one?
Yeah. So the next one I'm talking about is the boyfriends from Pretty Little Liars.
Yay.
All the spoilers for Pretty Little Liars here, but Moira, you still have to watch the show eventually.
Okay.
So Moira, you would like it so much.
I'm defining the liars, the boyfriends, as Toby Cavanaugh, Caleb Rivers, and Ezra Fitz. I'm not saying that those people are necessarily the best, healthiest partners to the liars. We don't support teachers dating students on this podcast. That's not okay.
Right.
But they were the three boyfriends that did the most for the liars in terms of actual, like, assistance. And so, that's who is on here. I honestly didn't know whether to include Paige or Allie. Allie kind of is one of the liars, and Paige so often just screwed things up worse for them. So I just decided not to include any of Emily's partners on this list. So sorry, Maya, who literally got murdered and still managed to be helpful.
Yeah, I was never, like, a super, super big fan of Paige.
I liked Paige when they were together, but she just screwed things up for them so often. Like,
she screwed them. She
would have been a great partner for Emily if they had constantly been in life-threatening situations. She just couldn't handle life-threatening situations.
Fair. That's fair.
So, Toby was one of the first people suspected of being the liar's mysterious nemesis, but Emily trusted him, and Spencer quickly fell for him, and he was very ride or die after that.
Very.
He joined the A-team in an attempt to protect Spencer, and when that didn't work out, he used his insider position to try and take it down from the inside. He's very handy and good on a stakeout, which is his main role in most of the early assistance situations. And then in season 5, he takes the law into his own hands and becomes a cop to try and get ahead of A and protect the people that he loves. And when becoming a cop creates more problems than it solves, he is totally fine to slip the other boyfriends and the liars information to help protect themselves. So yeah, he's just really ride or die. Toby's one of my favorite characters. There's honestly not much that I would change about Toby's participation with the liars. Spencer and Toby are a great match, in my opinion. He's super handy, but he's also super smart. He just wants to keep everybody safe. He and Spencer both have a little bit of a self-sacrifice for each other thing going, so that causes some issues sometimes, but he just brings a lot to the team. Like, he's there to help plan, he's there to help execute the plan. His skills are actually helpful for that a lot of the time. Big fan of Toby. Ezra was also accused of being for good reason. When it turns out that his entire introduction to their lives was a plan to find out what happened to Alison De Laurentiis. He's big into surveillance and has a demeanor which comes off as either totally non-confrontational and easy to talk to, or just underlying deadly rage that makes you think he's going to murder someone. And But he does have an ability to get people talking, and he's kind of like unassuming in a lot of situations. So like people just kind of like tell him things. He's pretty good with the research. And in the earlier seasons, he was also the only like full adult on the team, which was something that was helpful sometimes. He's very willing to break the rules, all of them, to keep Arya and her friends safe. And as he says in season 7, he has a master's degree in American literature. There's nothing he cannot handle. He's actually super loyal. He would definitely help you bury a body if needed. The show makes it really hard not to ship Arya and Ezra, even though, again, their relationship was super illegal and based entirely on a lie. So I kind of wish that they just had better roots for Ezra, that his character came from a better place. Because, like, I feel so weird that I like them together.
I know.
I would never be okay with that in real life. Any part of that, either the lying or the age difference or the fact that he was her high school teacher, any of it, all of it would be bad, except for that somehow it's not.
Yeah, somehow you still ship them, even though it's so problematic.
Yeah, I think it's just because they're super in love, you know? It's like Meredith and McDreamy. Like, there's just... Yeah, if they're so in love, it doesn't matter how you feel about aspects of their relationship.
Yeah, the show just,
they don't care.
A choice to not. Yeah.
The third boyfriend is Caleb Rivers, and he has gone where few others have gone before because he's dated 2 different liars. He's a boyfriend on 2 different fronts. Esther doesn't count because I don't count Allie as a whole liar. She's only half of a liar, even though she does more lying than all of them combined.
Right.
His primary relationship is Hannah, but he also dated Spencer for a little while, and personally, I love that. Come for me if you must. That's your business. Caleb touched a place in my heart. Anyways, Caleb is probably the most useful member of the boyfriends team, since they're being primarily blackmailed through text and email, and Caleb's specialty is computers. He just tends to be the most helpful. He has the most to contribute. He goes in, like, hacking things for them. He's always down to help the liars formulate a plan and try and get one step ahead. He's honestly one of the best characters on the show. He's got a troubled past, but he's, like, still this moral, compassionate, supportive character. And like I said, he's friggin' useful. He does not have a master's degree in American literature.
Yeah, he's absolutely one of my faves.
Yeah.
She's just generally such a good guy.
Yeah, he just comes in, he's so, like, just genuine and honest. Like, some people really hate that he was with Spencer. I honestly think it was, like, some of the best Caleb times. He's right in there. Like, he's, like, one of the first people that knows that A is back in that period of time. And, like, he's like, give me your phone, I'm gonna hack this person right now. And I just think he was really good to Spencer for a while, and yeah, their relationship got resolved in a way that, like, made me feel satisfaction. Like,
yeah, for sure.
All of these boys need additional honesty in their relationships, but hopefully they're all getting that, like, post where the show ended. Like, you know, like I said about Paige, like, a lot of the issues in their relationships come from the fact that they're constantly in life-threatening danger. And,
true.
You know, and the person who's putting them in life-threatening danger thrives off of fucking up their relationships. And that just causes strife. From what I understand about the spin-off, The Perfectionist, which I haven't watched, things are good for all of the boyfriends. Like, Caleb and Hannah have a baby, and Arya and Ezra are really happy, and Spencer and Toby eloped and got married. Like, all good things.
Yeah, that's amazing. I only watched, like, maybe 1.5 episodes of it. I really hated it.
That's more than I watched.
I don't remember if I got to know. I mean, I assume they do it in the first. I knew about, obviously, Allie and Emily, but that's nice to get a reminder that we get
a little
some
hints on what's going on with them. The thing that I like, when I think of the boyfriends, I think of when the liars were in the dollhouse, and Toby was like, this is all the information the police have, and Ezra and Toby and Allie sat down and were like, okay, we're gonna figure out where the hell they are. The police don't know, but we're gonna sit down, we're gonna take all the information that Toby brought us from the police, and we're gonna figure it out for ourselves, and they do. Like, I think that was early season 5 or mid season 5, and, like, that's what I think of, is, okay, like, let's all work together, we'll combine all our skills, and we're gonna save their lives. If it's the last thing we do.
Yeah, exactly. They all have such different and, like, really important skills that they bring to the team.
Yeah, and they just combine them so nicely.
to the girls. Yes, absolutely. Okay, good job. That was awesome. I miss watching PLL.
Me too.
forgot how much I miss that show until you were talking about it. Oh, such a good show. Moira, you have to watch it. It's so good. So,
I know.
next I'm going to be talking about Peeta from The Hunger Games, the sidekick to Katniss, of course. So, a very brief history. Peeta Mellark is a baker's son from District 12. Like I said, the Hunger Games series. He is a very compassionate person and has been in love with Katniss Everdeen since the age of 5, but never confessed his feelings until he was reaped alongside of her for the 74th Hunger Games. And then if you need more history about them, specifically as a couple, refer back to episode 10, our first ever ships, where I talk about them a lot.
Yeah, we had a hot debate.
And Katniss pretend to be... Yeah, we got into some good stuff. But yeah, he and Katniss pretend to be star-crossed lovers and win the game by threatening suicide as the last two remaining. And then at the end of the 75th games, Peeta is captured by the Capitol and hijacked. He manages to fall in love with her all over again during the end of the war and the years afterwards. And then eventually they reunite and they have 2 children. So what Peeta brings to this team as a sidekick is that I think that Peeta brings he brings a softness to Katniss's character. To her, I think that he symbolizes hope because of the whole, he gave her bread when she was a kid, when her family was starving to death, and so when he's around, this different part of her comes out and she's able to, I think, trust him. Even if she doesn't
love
allow
that
herself
so
to.
much.
Yeah.
That is such the perfect description.
Could freaking talk about... I could talk about the Hunger Games forever. I freaking... one of my passions in life is the Hunger Games. But yes, generally he's selfless, kind, and loyal. He, I think, as a character, reminds the audience of a more hopeful option, a more hopeful time. And we can feel his immense love for Katniss, and so we feel that as well. Since Katniss outwardly portrays herself as tough and ruthless, Peeta counterbalances that with his lack of outdoor knowledge and just soft, compassionate, loving personality. He just overall really captures the audience hearts with his immense love for her. And as far as what I would change, I don't know if I would change anything. Like I said, I freaking love this whole franchise. I'm pretty biased. So I love this duo and their dynamic together. I wish Katniss maybe treated him a little better on a consistent basis throughout the series.
That's a fair
wish. He always has her best interest in heart.
Yeah.
And he deserves the world, especially at the beginning, but yeah, all the way through. I wish she maybe treated him just a little bit better. But yeah, I love Peeta. He's one of my favorite characters of all time that isn't a badass woman. But yeah, Moira, who do we have next?
I'm gonna be talking about Ben from Umbrella Academy, sidekick to Klaus. So his original name is Number 6. He's adopted by Sir Reginald Hargreaves and becomes a member of the Umbrella Academy. He then dies at the age of 17 and he becomes a ghost who is only able to be seen by his brother Klaus, who sees ghosts conveniently. Yeah, so I think the most important thing that he brings to the team, he keeps Klaus from being completely insane.
Sort of.
He helps the team during fights as much as he can. He tries his best.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask of anybody.
But yeah, he works with Klaus a lot and he tries to keep Klaus on the right path and doing all those things. And the only thing that I want more for him is in the future seasons to have him be able to interact with everyone else more, because when he possessed Klaus's body and got to talk to Diego, it made my heart so happy. It was very cute. And
yeah, the other siblings miss him so much.
Interacting with other siblings. Yeah. So I would love to see more of that. But yeah, he's a really great character and he's really a good sidekick to Klaus.
They're the funniest duo on the show, honestly. They bring so much comic relief.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. Ben's amazing.
Yeah, good job. Awesome.
Short and sweet.
And KJ, who do you want to wrap us up with?
I'm wrapping us up with Cass from Supernatural. I'm going to keep
Who
this.
I just met. I'm so
You just
excited.
met? Oh my, what? Oh my gosh.
I think so.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because she's...
No, that's
unless
Cassie.
there's another...
Yeah, that's Cassie.
Oh,
Different person.
It's a different... Never mind.
Yeah.
Different person.
Different person.
Okay. Never mind. I didn't.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep this.
Tell me about her.
I'm gonna keep this pretty brief and spoiler free because yeah, you guys are still in the really early season, so I don't want to ruin everything for you. Castiel, Angel of Thursday, was introduced into the show in the episode Lazarus Rising. I think it was Lazarus Rising. With the news that the apocalypse was nigh and that the heavenly host had tasked the Winchesters with preventing that shit from going down. You know, just if you could just stop that apocalypse thing, that would be great. Thanks. Heaven really needs a favor. Castiel is a mid to upper level angel called. They're like a regular level angel, and then Cass becomes a seraph. He's very useful to the Winchesters. He uses he, him pronouns, but technically Cass is non-binary because angels don't have gender, or like their gender is like too complex for the binary. So technically Cass is a non-binary character,
like that.
but he uses he, him pronouns. But every once in a while he's like, yeah, it's cool. Just my vessel that's male. And like we see flashbacks to Cass in like a female vessel, and like they're still Cass. But it's hard to imagine. Cass very much feels like a man a lot of the time. We kind of forget sometimes. that they're an angel and not a human being. The thing he's most useful to the Winchesters for is to teleport himself and sometimes them. So he's often sent out to get spell ingredients that can't be found in the continental US. Like, you know, just gonna make a quick trip to Syria and back. And, you know, just get this, like, crazy ingredient. Or the other thing is healing, because Sam and Dean get hurt and killed a lot.
Right.
He literally has too many powers for me to just, like, list them all off, because angels are pretty powerful beings. So I'm not gonna try to list them all off. But he loves the Winchesters so much. He rebels against all of heaven and is truly just dedicated to them as, like, his, like, chosen family. He's willing to sacrifice himself for them in true Winchester fashion. He's died 6 times, which is almost as many times as Sam, who's died 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's just there to you know, heal them and help them and guide them, provide them information. He's their family. They really think of him as like a brother, or like, you know, like another, which is a big deal for the Winchesters because they value their brothers more than anything else in the whole world. Like, they would let the world burn to save each other. So the fact that they would even tell Cass that they think of him as a brother is a huge deal. The only thing that I would change about this team is the ending. I'm not going to give any details on what I mean by that, but if you finished the last season, you know. You know. But Cass is just, he's family, he's funny, he's a little clueless and intense, and I just love him so much. His character introduction in Lazarus Rising gives me chills every time. It's one of the most impressive character introductions in like the whole show. Death was pretty good, but like Cass and Death would probably be like the top 2 character introductions for just like, you get full body chills. You're like, this is a powerful being. And it's so good.
Wow, amazing.
And I cannot wait till you guys are farther.
Do you know generally what season? Generally?
I believe it's the first episode of season 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so I know like how long
I
have generally. Kind of.
Yeah, Lazarus Rising, awesome. I think is season 4, episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good job.
Thanks. I cannot wait for you guys to get there. I'm very excited for you guys.
Oh my god. I'm hooked. I'm there. Friggin' love it. So, does anybody have any last recommendations that they want to give before we do our ender segments?
No, I think I'm good this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Moira? No? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna do our ender segments. First off is Love It or Lose It. One thing you loved and one thing you'd rather get rid of. Whether, you know, from a specific duo or just sidekicks in general. I can start us, I guess.
Yeah, you start us.
My love it is that just about sidekicks in general. I think that they're really important for stories, and they can be really, really valuable for emotional connection and comedic relief. My lose it would be overdone cliches when it comes to sidekicks and female sidekicks who have to be saved by the dumb boy hero, as discussed previously in a previous
Refer to episode 8 here.
Refer back to all of episode 8 about that. KJ, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so for me, I think I will also keep it general to sidekicks in general. My love it is, pretty much exactly what you said. A sidekick is like an emotional connection to like a character, especially like, for example, like you said with PETA, like we got into the whole PETA versus Gale thing in episode 10, but refer back to that if you want to know where we stood on that. But I think it's exactly like what you said about like, PETA brings like a softer side, a more vulnerable side to her, whereas like with PETA, like she's the one that wanted to like run away in the woods and be like, we can do it on our own, whereas like with PETA, she's like, okay, like we're gonna do this together, like it's just like, so I think it definitely brings that. I think something I realized literally while we were talking today for my lose it is like a lot of times the hero takes the sidekicks for granted or doesn't treat them with a lot of respect or doesn't reciprocate in the relationship as much as they should. Like a lot of the time they do a lot for the heroes and the heroes don't do a lot for them in return. Whether because they're too busy or they just don't notice they're not pulling their weight emotionally in the friendship or partnership. But that's not great. Gotta,
I
find a
totally
balance
agree.
there.
There's so many examples of that.
But that's my love it, my lose it.
Okay. Moira, what about you?
You guys basically covered everything I had for love it or lose it to a T. Just, I love...
Oh
my goodness. I got so excited about Shuri, and I forgot how to form sentences for the rest of this episode. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
No, you're good.
But what you
It's
guys
all
said
good.
was perfect. So
when we talk
I'm
about
just
the
not
women of
gonna add.
Marvel, we're gonna have to have a whole like discussion about Shuri.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Stay tuned for a Women in Marvel episode
In
coming,
the
hopefully.
Nearish future.
Soonish.
We're not gonna nail down an
Nearish
exact date.
Yeah.
Date to be announced.
Yes. So we're gonna skip randomized rankings this week. Anybody have any names that particularly stood out to them?
I kind of love the name Wallace.
It's very
Honestly,
cute.
yeah.
Wallace is a fan. I'm such a fan. Plus, I would feel honored to name my child after Wallace Vanello.
Yeah.
He's not one of those characters where
Thank
you
you for
name
the
your kid after
opportunity
him and then like, you're just like,
You wish you hadn't.
yeah, you're just like, oh, now my kid's associated with this character. No, Wallace is gold. Your child would be honored to share a name.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I didn't really have any that stood out to me this week as far as names go. I think Reggie is a decent name.
Reggie's cute.
But, I mean, like, that same thing of, like, I would never name my kid that, because,
you can name your kid Regina.
a douche sometimes in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now that's an option.
Reggie for a girl.
Exactly. Regina, Reggie for sure.
Yeah, that would be really cute.
Plus, you're in love with Lana Perla, so.
Oh my god, cute! Amazing. Okay, so that has been our episode for this week. You've been listening to the Series of Opinions podcast. Let us know what you thought about this week's episode, if there's any sidekicks that you absolutely love that we didn't talk about, and what you thought about the sidekicks we did talk about. Leave us a review. It really does help. Or get in contact with us on any of our social medias. Our email is seriesofopinionspod@gmail.com, @seriesofopinionspod on Tumblr and Instagram, and @seriesofopinion on Twitter. And then you can also find us on YouTube. I post all of the episodes there if you ever want to listen to them there. We've got audio there, just Series of Opinions podcast. You can find me at Miss Faith Ann across everything, and at Faith Ann Art for all of my art. KJ, where can they find you?
You can find me at Life Messes of KJ on everything.
And you can find me at Moira _Frisk on everything.
Awesome. See you next week when we talk about all things Canadian.
Our logo is by Faith Ebert, who you can find at Faith and Art. This episode was written, produced, and recorded by us. It was edited by me, editing KJ, and we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.